Hello students, welcome to today's session of Daily Chemistry Dose. So what is stored in today's dose? One beautiful question of organic chemistry. I find this question very interesting and very important, so I am discussing it with you. And after this session, you would definitely feel confident about organic chemistry because the two concepts which are engaged in this particular question would be a definite sort of question for upcoming mains or NEET or advanced paper. So here comes the question. Just read it and try to pause the video and try to solve it. I hope you tried this question by pausing the video. Now let me discuss this out. So first you have to see what are the function groups present on the substrate. So the substrate is containing carboxylic acid group, then the keto group, and this is the secondary alcoholic part. This is a secondary alcoholic carbon which is having OH group. Along with it, you could see that there is a reagent given here is KBRO. So this is potassium hypobromite. This also is an important reagent. Then after that, heating it with this reagent, you have to acidify it and finally heat it. Now, first of all, this basically KBRO, or for that matter, if I write KIO or KClO, these are hypochlorite ion. Basically, these are being formed like this, that if you have bromine, which is a non-polar species, OH negative, because it is being, this species is generated always. So if in case somebody gives you this reagent, actually he is telling you you are being given this thing. Br in presence of OH negative, or I2 in presence of OH negative, and Cl2 in presence of OH negative. And these are nothing but the ingredients of haloform test, haloform reaction, which we call it as iodoform or chloroform, or what you call it as bromoform. So this OH negative would polarize this non-polar molecule like this. This OH negative attacks it and this goes out. So you end up getting this HOBr in presence of Br negative. Since the system is basic, this will snatch out this H positive also, and here goes the water and you end up getting OBr negative. So this is the two things which you get during the process. So as and when you are being given bromine in presence of OH negative, these are the reagent which you get along with the water. Got it? So you can take two OH negative. Now this species which we have written here, the in OBr negative, bromine is in +1 oxidation state, and this has the tendency to go to Br2s, to the lower oxidation state. So this is a fairly good oxidizing agent. Now make it a point, this oxidizing agent, what is its role in this process? This OBr negative or IO negative or BRO negative, these are the oxidizing agent which tend to convert. Say for example, you are being given secondary alcohol. Just see here, if you are being given a secondary alcohol, in this secondary alcohol, what is the oxidation state of this particular carbon? So the oxidation state of this carbon here is -1 from this, and sorry, +1 from this bond and -1 from this, and here it is -1, this is +1. So this is in zero oxidation state, and OBr, which is in +1 oxidation state. So this alcoholic part would then change into keto group. So in the keto group, this is -2, this is +2. So this carbon which was in zero oxidation state happens to go to +2 oxidation state. So it has been oxidized, and this Br which is in +1 happens to go to Br2. This got reduced. So make it a point, this is acting as an oxidizing agent. So what would be its role? It will convert any secondary or primary alcohol to corresponding ketone or aldehyde. So here in this question, we are being provided this thing, that here you have a keto group, here you have CHOH, CH3, and here you have COH. So you are being given, in fact, bromine in presence of OH negative. For that, they have defined it like this, KOBr. So this basically is being made in situ from bromine and KOH. Now this carbon is going to get oxidized to what you call it as ketone with that reagent. And this system, which is carboxylic acid, since the system is alkaline, which they have not given, but we know that this is being generated in bromine in presence of KOH. So the system is alkaline, so this would be also appearing in the form of salt. Now once you get this point, now you could see that this reaction, this particular uh, reagent has all the features which we see for any haloform reaction. So for haloform reaction, in a brief view, in a very brief view, I can tell you that in haloform reaction, if you have this sort of a ingredient or a function group, or you have, just now we have done it for alcohol, if you have a secondary alcohol, and you are being provided with bromine in presence of OH negative, this species first convert this into this, and now you should remember that this part of this CH3Br would turn up to CHBr3, and this got precipitated, and the rest part of this molecule, this part, would convert into salt of carboxylic acid, if it is in the presence of KOH. So what you have to remember, this haloform reaction, or you can say it as bromoform reaction, or for that matter you may also think of iodoform reaction depending on the halogen being used. What is the logic? That the given aldehyde or ketone, or this particular ketone, has been oxidized to carboxylic acid with one carbon less, and that carbon which is less has been precipitated as bromoform or iodoform or chloroform. Now for this, if you want to see the reaction mechanistic viewpoint about it, I shall make one more video or one more session where I will religiously would explain each and every aspect involved during this mechanism, that how does it go into this. So let us first solve this question, and now you could see that where we were, this is the stage we have reached on. Let me write it once again now. So we shall be getting this thing. So this was the case where we were, sorry, this had been ketone, and here you have that salt. Now bromine in presence of KOH would turn this into, this part will change into CHI3, and the rest part of this, the remaining part of this, whole of this remaining part would change into what? This will change into this thing, CO negative, K positive, and here you have CO negative, K positive. This is what you get. Now since it is being acidified in the second step, if you could see in the second step, here is the second step. In the second step, it is being acidified. Now any carboxylic acid, when acidified or acid is being put into it, this will change into carboxylic acid. So you would end up getting this thing, carboxylic acid, and this also would be carboxylic acid. Now thereafter it is being heated. Now here comes the important version, which is the second part of the understanding. First part of the understanding is you need to know what is iodoform test, how does it changes a given ketone or alcohol into carboxylic acid with the precipitation of iodoform or bromoform. Mechanism is still pending, we will explain it some other day with some other example. Now what is being seen here, this is basically, if you could see, this is in one way it is 1,2,3,1,3 dioic acid. In another viewpoint you could also say it as to be, if I take this as to be alpha carbon, this is beta, so it is beta keto acid. So now there are four compounds for which you have to remember few things, and I may say with quite a good amount of conviction, any of these three or 4 points, or any of these four reagents or reactions would come in upcoming competition. So first let me explain the case of 1,3 dioic acid. As in when you see 1,3-dioic acid, just like this, 1,3-dioic acid, and if you would heat it, it would simply lose carbon dioxide. So this is decarboxylation simply on heating, and you end up getting carboxylic acid. One style is this. Second example is of the beta keto acid. If you have any point of time a compound such like beta keto acid, this is alpha, this is beta. So beta keto acid when heated, simply heated, would lose decarboxylation. Carbon dioxide goes out and you end up getting this. And third one is, if okay, let me tell you a little brief idea first for these two, then we'll explain the other two also. So beta keto acid, why it undergoes decarboxylation? So you can read it or uh, learn it like this, that if in case you have given this, this is the compound which we are writing it as beta keto acid. Just see, beautiful chelation type of a thing has happened. So this is alpha, this is beta, so beta keto acid, so this is delta negative, this is delta positive. So this, you could see a six membered cyclic transition state has acquired. On heating, what would happen, this O negative would snatch this H positive. As a consequence, this goes here and this goes here and this goes here. Wow. So what has happened is this thing. Here comes the OH and here comes the double bond, and this would take out as carbon dioxide. So since carbon dioxide is losing out, being it's a gas, whenever in any organic reaction gas is being produced, or any reaction where gas is being evolved, that generally is entropy driven. Once this gas goes out, this reaction goes forward, and this is what you got as enol, and this enol then tautomerize back to ketone. So this H positive goes here, this goes here, this goes here. So this carbon would carry a negative charge, this H positive, intramolecular proton exchange or tautomerism. So it tautomerizes to get back you that particular acetone or ketone is being generated. So this is the mechanistic viewpoint where you have to remember what is the driving force for this is six membered cyclic transition state, or sort of chelation has happened, which provided it extra stability. Same viewpoint you can apply for this 1,3-dioic acid. In 1,3-dioic acid, what you would see is somewhat like this, CH, or let me write it like this. So here comes the O, this is CH2, same viewpoint, and here is OH. So again, you could see this is delta negative, this is delta positive. So again, this would go out, something like this would happen. As a consequence of this, you would get OH here, double bond CH2, and this carbon dioxide escapes out. Again, it tautomerizes. This bond goes here, this goes here. So you get carboxylic acid with one carbon less. Got it? Another two compounds which you should also remember is the case of alpha nitro acid. Alpha nitro acid, if on heat, if you simply heat it, it would also undergo decarboxylation. Now, what is alpha nitro acid? So you may treat it like this, alpha nitro acid. So you can take it like this. Let me show it here. So you can take it like this. This is H, this is CH2. Here you have this O and this. So what you are being given here is, this is alpha nitro acid. So again, cyclization can happen like this. Okay, and again you would get the same sort of a feel, CH2, and carbon dioxide goes out, and then this again tautomerizes to give you again the nitro acid, again the nitro alkene along with carbon dioxide. So this also would lead to decarboxylation. One more to add on to this, if you have the case of, uh, you may take it like this. This also is a very interesting case of alpha, beta, gamma. So if you have beta gamma unsaturated acid, if you heat it, this also would undergo decarboxylation. So this also goes like this. So ultimately you end up getting here carbon dioxide goes out, and this would become CH2 double bond CH. Here comes the CH3, you get the alkene. So here you should remember, in this particular problem I taught you three things, or rather four things. Beta gamma unsaturated acid is the one, second is the alpha nitro acid, and third is the beta keto acid. Okay, this is what you call it as 1,3-dioic acid. 1,3-dioic acid on heating undergoes decarboxylation, and another one is beta keto acid. So now what you get here is, you could now simply would see that what we get here. So this would have two things parallel. So once you could do it decarboxylation of this, so what you end up getting here is this compound, because carbon dioxide has gone out on heating, and still it would not stop here. Again you heat it, you now would have what along with it is alpha beta, it is beta keto acid again. So it would also undergo decarboxylation to remove this carbon dioxide, ultimately get you the ketone. So this is very, very important question. So in this question, let me consolidate what we have learned, that there are two aspects into it. First, what is the role being played by this particular species? What is the reagent? This reagent is Br2 plus OH negative. This is the learning. And first it oxidizes secondary alcohol to ketone. Then this species would lead to a reaction which we call it as haloform reaction. Once that haloform reaction has happened, you end up getting 1,3-dioic acid and along with beta keto acid. When once you heat them together, you would lose 2 moles of carbon dioxide and ultimately reach to an answer which is the C option. I think you have learned many things in today's session, and hope you have enjoyed the session, and hope to see you once again in the next uh, session, where we shall be discussing one more question of the chemistry. Hope you will join that session also. Thanks a lot. Take care and stay safe. Bye bye. Tata.